hope so, yeah.
You hope so, yeah, what?
Well,
You're good?
I am good.
Good.
But I can't guarantee that I'm not going to cough or, have to clear my throat or something.
She's dying, ladies and gentlemen. That's not true. Yeah, we're recording. That's right. I did it again. I do it every week. You never know when it's going.
No, I don't. But hello, everybody.
We're back. Critique-Opolis is back. Oh, crap. You said that you had a recipe for me to talk about.
Yep, you want me to share it?
You know what? That'd be fun. You can share it.
Okay.
That's a flip. We'll get to that. But I've been on a Steve Martin kick, and Miss Louisa has not seen all of me up until yesterday.
There are lots of really good Steve Martin movies that I haven't seen.
Well, we're just going to have to cover those upcoming. But
on the other hand, there are lots that I have seen. Well,
this one,
maybe a small handful.
What did you say to me this morning, that you were like 2? Or
I was 1 when this movie came out.
So All of Me was it wasn't a directorial debut by Carl Reiner, but Carl Reiner directed it. 1984 picture, which kind of marked Steve's, I think he kind of views it, and a lot of people view it as the beginning of his mature career. And I never thought it'd be kind of difficult to explain an absurdist comedy, but I'm going to give it a shot here. So Martin plays Roger Cobb, who is a attorney who doesn't love his job, but he moonlights as a jazz guitarist. He works at a law firm, and one of their clients is Lily Tomlin, who plays Edwina Cutwater. And Edwina Cutwater is dying and needs her estate to be transferred to someone, but she is under the belief, you know what, you told me after all that tea there was going to be no coughing.
That was a sneeze.
No sneezing.
That was a sneeze. What? I said no coughing and no clearing my throat. And while I'm talking, side note, the reason he's staying at this job that he doesn't like...
Here we go. I love it when otherwise I feel like I'm carrying the whole thing.
The reason he's staying at this job that he doesn't like is because he's hoping for some big case that he can prove himself and win partner.
Very good.
Thank you.
Correct.
Thank you.
Also has a dog, which I can't remember his name.
I don't really feel like we ever knew the dog's name. Did it come up?
Yeah, it comes up, but it's not that it was muffled, but like Bud or Ed or something. Mm. But anyway...
Kind of looks like the dog in Annie.
Yeah, he's a shaggy dog. And he brings it into work, which, if you're going to be a lawyer, that's kind of that's a great law firm.
Yeah.
Like, imagine that interview where he's just like,
and I have
here's
a dog.
The thing. I have a dog and I got to bring him into work. All right, it's not a normal... He'll just sit in the corner and won't do anything.
It's really cute. He has a dog bed in his office for the dog, and the secretary knows when he needs to be fed, and she just pulls out the bag and continues right on working and talking and just scoops out his food.
So...
Dog's got the life.
This was kind of a big deal movie for Steve. It grossed $36 million on a real... It wasn't a shoestring budget or anything, but it didn't cost a lot to make.
Mm-hmm.
Couple $1 million, but grossing 36 in 1984 was
a lot.
Pretty, especially for... He had to dress up like a lawyer. It didn't require, like, the sets weren't really elaborate. They just had to have access to that nice house. But by and large, it wasn't a lot to
finance.
It wouldn't have been a lot to finance. The consensus among critics recognized the film's success as a high-concept farce carried by Carl Reiner's deft direction and the precise timing of its leads. Again, we have to thank Notebook LM for just the breakdown that we use to review everything. Roger Ebert noted that the film shares traits with some of the great screwball comedies by employing absolute logic in dealing with the absurd. I find it funny that Ebert recognized that and praises it as a. It seems like something he would see the absurdist quality of the movie, and we'll get to the plot in a second, but the fact that he looks at that and says there's real art in how they construct a story that makes sense out of a silly situation. So, anyway, Edwina Cutwater believes that she can transfer her soul into another human being at the moment of her death, and employs her stableman's daughter to be the vessel for her soul when she dies. And this girl is played by Victoria Tennant. Victoria tells or has the belief or the behavior that she is willing to give up her soul to the universe to let Edwina inhabit her body, and thereby Edwina will transfer all of her holdings and assets and money to this girl, Terry. Terry is Victoria Tennant's character. And they're going to use a shaman, this shaman from who knows where called Procalasa. Who can you look up and see what that guy's name is who plays him? Because he's hysterical. He just repeats things constantly and doesn't understand the way modern conveniences and technology works. So he happens to be flushing a toilet in one scene when the phone rings. And every time the phone rings, he runs to the bathroom so he can flush toilets.
He thinks they go hand in hand.
Yeah, he thinks they're supposed to be together. So let's see here. I'm going to jump ahead to the core concept breakdown of Notebook. The film's comedic premise involves the unsuccessful spiritual transfer of Edwina Cutwater's soul. So I'm going to diverge here for a second. So at first, Edwina she throws Roger Cobb out because as soon as Roger's made aware of what her plan is, and he's writing the finishing touches on her estate plan, he just finds it to be absurd and ridiculous. He shows back up at the office, at his law office, where Edwina Cutwater, is meeting with her boss to finalize everything, and he feels bad. He tries to apologize, and she calls him out and says that his boss is going to fire him, which isn't really the case, but it kind of leads into a new whole interaction with Steve and his boss later, which ends up with Steve getting fired. But in the office with Procalasa, Edwina Cutwater, Steve, Terry, and Steve Martin, Edwina gets short of breath and she starts to expire. She's about to die, and they do the ceremony to remove her soul from her body, and they get it into the bowl. The first half is successful, and then through some slapstick comedy, Steve Martin is leaving, and on his way out, he's outside of the building. The bowl gets knocked out of a window and lands on his head, and Edwina enters his body, or you're meant to understand, enters his body, and through the miracle of slapstick, the way they portray this, it's not a body swap. Like there was a lot of body swap movies at this. This is more of a body sharing type movie, and Lily Tomlin, Edwina Cutwater, takes over the right side of Steve's body, and Steve still has control over the left. So it becomes this, I don't want to use the word ridiculous, but like there are kind of, if you've never seen it before, it does have laugh out loud moments because
Very
he's
funny.
such a physical comedian, and
He did such an amazing job.
he portrays two people at the same time who are arguing with each other in the same body.
Yeah. And so sometimes he's arguing with himself and Edwina at the same time, and she's not, quote, in the scene. When she is in the scenes, she's showing up as a reflection. So he could be looking in a mirror, he could be looking in the shiny part of the payphone.
Yeah.
So that both of those scenarios are just so interesting. And he was so good. I don't know how someone does that.
I was thinking about, because as we were going through the breakdown of the movie and how they put it together, I just wanted to make sure we're not having a problem.
Yeah,
we're
good
so
thought.
good. One of the thoughts I had was, so much of the notes that we had said they tried to remake this, and the movie did so well. It was like lightning in a bottle, but it was a one-time thing. They had a great cast and a great set, and they tried to do a TV show a number of years ago. That didn't work. They tried to do a smaller series. That didn't work. A remake. That didn't work. And my thought was, how many other physical comedians really could have pulled this off? And the only one I could come up with would have been Jim Carrey.
Oh, that's a good, yeah.
He would have worked, yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Actually, this absolutely could have been made 10 years later with him.
Yeah. No, I agree. Very good.
Like in Liar, Liar.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like he was fighting with himself. But the rest of the movie is, you come to find out that Terry does not really believe that she can be a vessel for the soul. She's just a grifter who's trying to take advantage of Edwina and get her holdings in her estate. And without giving away the end, Steve Martin loses his job. Roger Cobb loses his job and is all pissed off about it. And at this moment, they really kind of he and Lily Tomlin become friends. He goes to make a phone call and he sees her in the reflection of the phone panel, and she says, "I just spared you a lifetime of a life you didn't want." And you can tell in that moment he's like, "Damn it, she's right." He's like, "You don't want," like, the partner of the law firm, his boss, Steve was going to marry his daughter, and the daughter is just kind of a twit. She points that out. She points out that you didn't want to work in an office with a desk. You don't want that life. And he's frustrated at the moment, but he can't help but agree with her. So they slowly form this friendship. It's not even slowly. It's an hour and a half movie. It's relatively quick. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought maybe the cough was getting to you.
No, I'm
I
fine.
have to tell you not to cough again. Anything that... trying to see if was there anything about the screenplay that you saw that was...
That was...
Written by Phil Allen Robinson. I love reading about writers because sometimes I don't know the names and they've done a bazillion different things. Sources also credit Henry Olick with the adaptation. The entire film project is based on previously the unpublished novel Me Too by Edwin Davis, which I did not know about.
Which is interesting because her name is Edwina, so...
You wonder if that kind of... That's an unusual name, right? You wonder if the writer was like, I'm going to put myself in here, but just as a woman.
Very much so. There was the leading character on Bridgerton, the good-looking Indian lady. Her character's name was Edwina, and I just thought that must have been a name from like back in the day, a long time ago, because
You never hear
just
that now.
never ever hear that. So when we were watching this movie, I was just like, that is literally the second time I've ever heard that name. It is so. It's just
It's
such an
it's
old
kind of
name.
an old,
No offense,
stuffy,
weird kind of.
like, if I heard that name, I would think like old spinster whose hair is done up in one of those giant beehive buns held together
For sure.
with
She could be a character on
with-
the Titanic.
yeah, exactly, for sure, with hair held together with knitting needles.
Friends with Molly Brown.
Never had a fun day in her life. The premise was considered inventive and clever by audience reviewers. I keep forgetting that in the 80s they still screened movies. I thought that for whatever reason, I thought that was a relatively new thing in the 90s, but they've been doing it for a long
What do you mean
time.
screened movies?
Well, they would test them.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I didn't really learn about that until I lived in Hollywood, and you could go see a movie for free to comment on it.
Oh,
Yeah, you could just go and they'd hand out cards,
yeah.
and they'd have questions about plot points, and you'd fill the thing out, and it was free, and then you hand them in when you leave the movie, and they would use that to either edit or revise the movie before its general release.
I always wondered about that.
Yeah. Lead actor Steve Martin credited the quality and structure of the screenplay with initiating his mature film career. No, the script provided him with a new kind of role and narrative foundation. You really see this because we watch Parenthood too. And Parenthood came out several years after this, but you can kind of see these dramatic seeds being sowed. Like he gets upset about losing his career. And
yeah.
When he's not being super animated, he's talking about how, this was important to me. I lost this thing, and it was not underdeveloped. It just wasn't over the top. You can see how that directors in LA would look at that and be like, he could have some chops really being a sensitive guy. And when we were watching Parenthood, this is a little bit of a Steve Martin review, but in that movie, he's a father of what, like 4? He ends up being a father of 4, starts out as 3. And he has a regular office managerial job, but he has a son who's anxious. And he struggles with that. He has a little bit of anxiety himself. And he gets tense about what this could mean for his son at different points in the movie. He coaches his little league game, and you remember the scene where the son misses the fly ball, and he gets all upset about it. And he has 2 different scenarios that run in his head. Earlier in the game, he caught a ball, and he sees his son graduating, and he's well adjusted and happy. And he thanks his dad, and Steve Martin's dressed up like an old man. He stands up and waves, and then 20 minutes later, his son misses a pop fly ball, and he thinks he's shooting up the campus. Come on, son.
Yes.
We'll sing one of the old songs.
Yeah. Not a flashback, but like a future look.
A future look, yeah.
I really like this. I'm really enjoying this little like old school Steve Martin, because I don't think that I've seen many old school Steve Martin films, and the Steve Martin movies that I've seen, they don't show, I don't think they really showed this side of him. So it's been interesting. It's been fun to watch. I mean, I know we've only seen like a couple, but you've introduced me to some like over the years, and I just didn't know that side of him.
Having grown up in the 80s, I really enjoyed his movies because I could see this development as it played out. Another couple movies that we've talked about with him, L.A. Story really highlights this. This is the next. He made this in 90. He made that in 91, and then one of my personal favorites, Grand Canyon, also came out in 91. They just show this. He still has. It's not that he has a departure from comedy, but he becomes like a middle-aged, funny, relaxed but funny guy who has an emotional core. And as you move into later in his career, he, trying to think of what some of the, he did Cheaper by the Dozen.
He did.
You remember that?
I do.
That was way later.
Way later.
And that was him being a parent again, but a parent of
12 kids.
12 kids, and that was, I think, I don't know because we haven't done a review of that, but I am certain there were the writers or the producers involved were looking at Parenthood, and that was such a smash. You were so good at being a dad. And
you're right.
You got to do it again.
100%.
And after that, not that he still does acting. He does that thing with Selena Gomez and Martin Short, but he's always been a banjo player or a guitar player.
Yeah.
So when they highlighted that in All of Me, when I saw it as a kid, I just thought it was like a prop element.
Yeah.
But he's done that throughout his career. He played it on stage.
Yeah.
When he did the Steve Martin himself, which you would love. We should watch that. That's really funny.
Okay.
But that really became part of his career. Is just playing the banjo and.
Yeah, he's really good at it.
Have you seen him?
I've seen videos or something before, and it's come up in different times of my life. Does that make sense? Different people have talked about it.
What I think I really enjoy about him, just as a performer, is I know that he studied philosophy in college, and then he went to the Comedy Store. He did physical comedy and he did stand-up comedy, and one of the videos, I think I've told you about this, where he talked about people will come up to him and they ask about how to attain success in Hollywood, how do you get a manager and how do you get an agent, and how do you find success, how do you get booked, and all these kinds of things. And his response was always the same, but no one ever wanted to hear it. And he would always respond with, "You have to just be so good you become undeniable." And people didn't want to hear that. They're like, who do I call? And it's not like that.
Yeah.
If you just work on yourself, the work will speak for you, and people will come to you.
Yeah.
And I find that true in my own life. And when you see that as it pays dividends, when you just invest in yourself and your own craft and whatever it is you do, people respond to it. It doesn't happen is it going to happen today? It's not like that. It just happens organically. And a lot of folks don't like the word organically when it comes to building business or developing their own career because it's not instantaneous. People have a real aversion to patience and things that take an investment of time and personal development. But he was real pro on that. He was real you just have to be undeniable. You have to do your thing, whatever your thing is, and just keep doing it and keep doing it until it gets better. And then you're going to get to a point where no one can ignore you. And then and then playing the banjo and having an interest in that. And we just read, he was on the LA Board of Art or whatever. What did I say that was?
Well, he has just all kind.
He's just so many interests.
Yeah.
And he's written several books, and his relationship with Martin Short. It's not just he's been in several movies. Or he was in Three Amigos with him, and now he's in what's the name of that show? That I've only seen.
Only
once.
Murders in the Building.
Only Murders in the Building, and they're funny because he has a very natural, fluid relationship with Martin Short. And I'm sure he gets along fine with Selena Gomez, but I think that writing grows out of their friendship.
I think it does for sure. They've been friends. I watched a clip of the two of them on a late night show.
Mm-hmm.
And
They often appear together on late night.
yeah, and they were just so friendly with each other. Just you could tell they had been friends for a long, long, long time. And I saw a commercial too that they were in together. It was really little. Something about money in a bank. But anyway.
What was before I forget, do you have the recipe that...
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What is it? You didn't even tell me this, so I haven't...
Okay. Also, before I forget, I was just thinking as we were doing this, I was really curious about that beautiful home.
Oh,
the
Edwina's?
Cutwater Estate.
Cutwater, yeah.
Yeah, and so I looked it up.
Go ahead.
And not that I know this, but it says the Cutwater Estate is actually none other than the Greystone Mansion, blah, 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 this address in Beverly Hills. You can go visit it if you want. It's free and open to the public.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. But it says that the Greystone Mansion has also appeared in dozens of movies and TV shows, from Star Trek II to The Bodyguard, and I was like, oh, I know that house.
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's very iconic in that movie.
It's also on a hill. It kind of overlooks the drive up to it.
Yeah, and it says this 1928 mansion was built by oil tycoon Edward Tony with 55 rooms, and it was the largest home ever built in Beverly Hills. It has hosted at least 2 presidential visits, Barack Obama and Bill Clinton.
Huh.
But anyway, I just thought that was really cool because I was very curious about that house.
That was the house that they pulled up to in the very beginning, right? Of The Bodyguard?
I think it's the house that Whitney Houston's character lives in.
Yeah, in, right.
Yeah.
And that was in the 90s. That was like 10 years after this. No, it wasn't. It was, I think I was in high school. Was that 92?
That sounds about right, yeah. I don't really know, honestly.
Or 93,
but it's
somewhere
like
in there.
the picture that's on the site that I found,
Mm-hmm.
I can totally see it as being the house in The Bodyguard. And they must have used a lot of filming spots in that house for that movie as well, because I can just see the similarities.
Isn't that funny when I think I mentioned this to you very briefly, but I'm not sure if I've said this on the podcast before or not.
1992.
Nailed it. Steve Martin's clothing in Grand Canyon is a fascination of mine. I know it's an odd thing to say, but he plays a movie producer, and his clothes are they just stand out just a little bit more. And in that, he's injured in that movie, and later in the movie he has a cane. And the cane it's a little tough to make out, but it seems to have some type of a bird as the handle. You can just see the edge of it because his hand is gripped around it, and a sort of like a polished mahogany look to it. I think they use the same cane in Parenthood when he fantasizes about his son graduating and he stands up. And he stands up, he has a cane.
Yeah, I remember.
I'm like, I think that's the same cane. I think he actually owns that.
That kind of thing is so cool to me.
Yeah, when you see things between, whether it's people or actors in settings that you recognize from other movies that are unrelated or are related just peripherally, it's fun because you don't have to live in Hollywood to see that there is a tapestry that connects all of it together.
Yeah.
And it very often it's just these little tiny things. Like there was you remember I recognized like a bit player in a movie with Sean Connery. We talked about this a long time ago.
Okay.
I'm like, this guy was in a scene for half a second in a movie 10 years before this was made that nobody saw.
This sounds familiar. I think we stopped and watched.
We stopped and we looked back and I pulled. It was almost a still.
Yeah.
I pulled it up. I'm like, that's that guy.
Yeah, I remember this. Yeah.
So that's the fun thing about movies is it almost gives you, like, if you watch enough of them, they give you this kind of time capsule back to this industry that you can see things over time and how they're all kind of connected. Oh, sidebar. You know what I just heard this morning on that that producer Patrick Instagram?
Yeah.
Apparently it was a rumor, but he seems to think it's the real deal that Warner Brothers is being purchased by Saudi Arabia. Can you believe that?
What?
Yeah, like some Saudi Arabian group is buying the whole studio because it's got a huge debt load.
Yeah.
They have a several $billion debt load, but
and so somebody
Saudi Arabia would own Warner Brothers. Wouldn't be an American company anymore.
That's really weird.
That's bananas. But I mean,
I
wonder how that would affect the output, you know?
Yeah.
It's not exactly a secular society.
I mean, I understand from a financial point of view, if they're in so much debt, somebody who has so much money buying it and maybe helping them to get out of that debt, but I don't understand.
I wonder how that would control
or see the
content.
rest of yeah.
The content, I would think would suffer in some regard.
I think we went to the Warner Brothers lot once or twice when we were in California. Anyway,
I don't think I've been to Warner Brothers. I was on Paramount for a number of days. And the Universal. Oh, did you hear about that? Total sidebar again. Universal, the City Walk.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been to Universal City Walk? It's like a bunch of shops and like attractions, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. But I went there when I lived there in '97 and '98, and it was big. It was a big attraction.
Okay.
And now nobody goes there.
Oh.
So they're closing it. It's just crazy when you see businesses closing down in middle America and like whole main streets kind of imploding or collapsing because of lack of business. But then when you see it happen in big cities for massive industry, like entertainment industry.
Yeah. I think
it's eerie.
Yeah, very eerie. I think it's more common now than, and it probably will become more common, I don't know, over recent time, because people things are not what they used to be. They just really aren't.
That's what happens when you lose the manufacturing base, and service base is kind of eroding when the service base is being eroded by AI. We're seeing such a loss of jobs in the service sector, and service was all we had in this country. But I don't want to get on my soapbox.
Yeah,
about
seriously,
that.
I could talk forever.
All right, what'd you find recipe wise?
Okay, cinnamon, honey, butter, sweet potato cornbread.
So before
it didn't come out very well. Cinnamon, honey, butter, sweet potato cornbread.
So I'm just gonna say I haven't made this a regular part of the podcast. I need to be doing it a little bit more, and that is to promote Hey Honey. So for this recipe, I haven't seen it yet, so I'm not picking out a honey that'll go with it. But if it sounds good to you, pick out a honey that you would want to use it with. You can find all the stuff that we have at heyhoney.biz, and that's HEY honey.biz, not .com. That'll take you to a cosmetics company. They don't have honey. I do. Go to it.
So, just as a side note, I love all of these things in this recipe, ingredients, but I do love sweet potatoes and I do love cornbread. So I was like, what? And then honey and cinnamon. I mean, you can't go wrong. And Thanksgiving is coming up, let's be honest. So, get all these things together.
What are the ingredients again? What's the full list of ingredients?
I didn't know if I should read all that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So cinnamon, honey, butter, sweet potato cornbread. The ingredients for the sweet potato cornbread are as follows: a mashed cooked sweet potato, some yellow cornmeal, all organic, goodness gracious. I live in Ann Arbor. All purpose flour, some granulated sugar, some baking powder, some salt, some ground cinnamon, some whole milk, some vegetable oil or melted butter, some large eggs, some honey, preferably yours. I mean, not preferably yours.
Definitely mine.
And then, so that's for the sweet potato cornbread.
Do they have measurements in this?
They do.
Okay, is that in the ingredient or in the workup?
It is.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I've never read a recipe online or on our podcast before, so I didn't
That's
know
fine.
how to do
I just
it.
wasn't sure.
But yes, there are all kinds of details that I left out. For the cinnamon honey butter, they have a half a cup of unsalted butter, 2 tablespoons honey, and half teaspoon of ground cinnamon and a pinch of salt. So key ingredients would be honey and ground cinnamon for sure. You need the sweet potato and the yellow cornmeal. Okay. And then you're going to preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And then lightly grease a baking dish or line it with parchment paper. In a large bowl, you're going to whisk together the cornmeal, the flour, the sugar, the baking soda, baking powder, salt, and cinnamon. In a separate bowl, you're going to mix together the mashed sweet potato, milk, oil, eggs, and honey until smooth and well combined. Add the wet mixture to the dry ingredients and stir just until combined. Do not overmix. Pour the batter into the prepared baking dish. Bake for 25 to 30 minutes or until a toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean. Let it cool before serving, and in a small bowl, combine softened butter, honey, cinnamon, and a pinch of salt. Sorry, this is for the honey butter. Mix until smooth and creamy. Keep it room temperature or refrigerate until you're ready to serve it. It says slice the warm sweet potato cornbread and serve with a generous spread of cinnamon honey butter. Best enjoyed fresh out of the oven. The picture looks delicious.
So if you want to make this, but you need the measurements, what's the name of it one more time?
It's cinnamon honey butter sweet potato cornbread.
Just do a search for that online. You'll get there. I'm sure there's a bazillion different recipes, but you can get the breakdown of all the different measurements. Yes?
Seems very easy too. Like, get it all together, put it all together.
Well, yeah, but I mean, people are going to want to know how many eggs, how much.
No, I know.
Corn,
I mean, but I'm just saying, like, it just looks very easy and simple. I don't feel like we're for very complicated recipes. We like recipes, but we're not going to do a million steps to make something.
Like those ones we find, like, you know, that braided pork belly sandwich thing. Mm-hmm. That looks delicious, but that is clearly.
But if someone else could do it for you,
it's an all-day thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole day
yeah.
of cooking one thing, and
right.
I'm sure it's great. But like pork belly, and then the slicing it into the windshield wiper, and then seasoning it, and then folding it into the braid. Slow roasting it.
I know the video makes it look really quick and simple.
No,
it's not.
That would take a full day easy. But I think we got all of it. Yeah?
Yeah, also a small side note. This is just my personal opinion. But just because this recipe says cinnamon honey butter, I don't personally think I would use your cinnamon honey for the recipe because the cinnamon honey tastes like, what's that hot candy?
Oh my God, you're hurting me here. You're saying that on the podcast. You're dissuading people from getting my cinnamon honey. What are you doing?
But there's so many other choices and options.
I would say for this, just stick with the regular stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
there's already, you're adding cinnamon, and the cinnamon honey, I love the cinnamon honey. It's good, but it's not the kind of flavor I think that you would want for this recipe.
No, this is more of a subdued cinnamon kind of thing. And my cinnamon honey is more of a spiced cinnamon.
There you go. Thank you. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
either-
not putting your honey down. Just
either do the raw, the creamed, the liquid clover and wildflower, or one of the single pollens. I would say any of the tropicals. I don't know that the lavender honey would be great for this, but
not for the combination.
no. But any of the tropical fruit, like the tangerine blossom or the monkey pod, would be great for that. Or actually, you know, it'd be good. Well, maybe. I mean, I was going to say buckwheat, but that would be not if there's cinnamon in it.
If you were having plain cornbread, like cornbread and butter, the lavender honey might be good.
Okay, but yeah, cinnamon's. Do more of a fruity. I wouldn't do a flavor. I don't think. I think I would just do like a fruity flower, like the tangerine blossom.
Or the regular, just for
or
sweet.
the regular, yeah.
But it is a lot of honey because you're using honey in the recipe
don't use that in the recipe. Use a regular honey.
And the butter spread. But it sounds delicious.
All right, we'll make it. Good Lord.
I love sweet potatoes.
All right, our hero, that being me,
Oh,
has to, and well, not you.
Good to know.
I mean, look. Can I finish my statement? Our hero, me, in this dynamic, this half of the hero-dom, has to use the restroom.
all right. Thanks for sharing.
All right, you're welcome. We'll have another one for you sooner or later. Hugs and kisses.
Thanks for listening.
Toodaloo.